We are back.
Is that better? Yeah, true.
Going live. Start with you, Laura. Can you remember the first artwork you sold?
Oh wow! You said it was an easy question. Remember?
Don't you remember that?
No, actually, yeah. Actually, I think it was like a long time ago. Actually, I think it was when I was a university student in Venice.
Yeah.
And then I was I was approached. I said, "We saw your painting," because that time I had a solo show. It was like a kind of like mini solo show, my first solo show. And then it was like I couldn't believe it. Really, and it's like they approached me and said, "We like your painting," and then, the feeling was like, what was strange. Was strange because I feel okay if it is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to carry on and do more and more and see what's gonna happen. But it was really exciting.
Do you remember how it looks like?
Yeah, it was.
And when you think about that piece now, how much have you evolved?
A lot, a lot. There's no perspective in the painting. There were like random abstract lines, but not the lines that I'm doing now. It was more like black and white colors. And then I remember was the sense of movement. So this is my painting.
Yeah.
But it was lighter. And it looked more like a train station, like... when you have the track and the lines. The movement, because at that time I was commuting as well with the train. And I think that it all starts from there.
Yeah, I think Christophe and Emma, do you guys remember what you sold?
Yeah, I started doing these animals with a bunch of colors because I was listening to some music that made me really inspired. Alt J, you guys know those? No.
Anyone know?
Anyway, but
someone nodding, yeah.
My man, no. No, but for me back then, music was really a big factor to what I was doing. So I just started experimenting, and somebody bought it, and I was like, "Hey, fuck, that's really nice." And then I started doing more of that in that order.
Yeah,
and it sort of took off from there.
What was popular? You just created more of it for people.
Yeah, in the beginning, that was what kicked it off. So I thought, hey, I have more of this to give, So if people like it, why not?
Give it to them.
Do some more,
Give the people what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well,
piece of
yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Emma?
No.
You don't remember?
I remember art has just always been a part of my life, and I was probably selling small things as a child.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I remember certain, if you like, key points. I remember as a 17-year-old selling something, had a solo show at 17. Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I remember selling stuff at uni and buying a fish tank.
You bought a fish tank?
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, I made some money, I'm going to buy a fish tank. So I bought a fish tank.
Why not?
I only got rid of it a few years ago.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had it for this long?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not much of a story, it's not that interesting, sorry.
Yours is a bit different. Because, I mean, you're painting on the street, so you're not necessarily selling the wall. But
yes,
your first paid job, maybe? Or have you done canvases?
I don't remember the first paid job, but I remember the first time I sold a canvas.
Yeah.
And it was really scary because I sold a canvas that I didn't make yet. So I just told a size, like it's got to be 1/2 meter by 4. Divided into 2 parts, and it's going to cost you this and this. And you're gonna like it.
You have to.
And I was really convinced,
Yeah.
that I got this, and they showed me some. I like this, and I thought that's nothing. It's gonna be much cooler. And then I painted it. I still felt confident. And then I had to bring it, and I was in the car with the paint, in a van actually, with the painting. And then I started to sweat. Like, okay, but when do they? What if they say like, okay, is this it? Well, but they liked it in the end, so I was really happy. Yeah. But I never want to be in that position again.
Oh, okay.
I'm never going to sell a white canvas now. That's probably a good idea.
So nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So this is, and any one of you can just jump in and answer it. Have you ever done anything in which you have failed miserably?
Life.
No, come on.
Goodness.
There are many things.
You're still living.
Yeah, true.
I'm still working on my handstands. I don't think you can say you fail at anything. I think that you just learn as you go. You know, everything you get something from. That, you know, you stretch a canvas and it's wonky. You learn not to do it like that again. You know, you prime using the wrong primer. You know how to use another primer because you've wasted a day priming a canvas that's not going to take the paint nicely. So, you know, I think failing is really important if you want to coin the frame, the failure. You need to, you need to fail, if you like.
Inevitable.
That's part of it. Yeah.
As long as
If you felt miserable, it's between your ears.
Yeah.
No, it's just, I mean, it's not really failure. Well, of course there's failures, but as long as you grow from them, they're more like a lecture in some ways, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever do commission work?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I have I hope you're not watching right now because I'm actually working on them right now. But, I have
Oh, he's in Norway. Yeah.
But I'm trying, as I said in the interview as well, that, and as you've said, you know, commissions are not what you want to do. So I try to keep it on the low, but I have
Except
to
for this one client that's waiting now.
Yeah. So, but I have to eat tomorrow too. So you know, I have to.
You can feel special now.
Yeah. It's coming.
It is always so nerve-wracking. I love doing the commissions, but nerve-wracking when you're presenting it at the end.
Yeah.
Because obviously there is an expectation,
Mm-hmm.
and you think, oh God, is this going to be okay? There's such a pleasure when the person sees something and they are, you know, they can't stop looking at it, or, you know, I've had. These days, you know, if you don't cry on me, I feel like I've done something wrong, which
Really?
it seems to be, you know. Well, the thing is,
You
like,
set the bar higher.
often I'm painting people or their loved ones, or you know, so
Yeah.
so it means something. It's very personal. It's a lot of responsibility, and I feel very honoured with it. So yeah, it's a nerve-wracking thing.
Yeah, and I mean, you've done your TV show, Sky Portraits of the Year.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Oh,
but
gosh.
you also
Nerve-wracking.
do commission portraits of some known people. So how does that work? Because that must be nerve-wracking. Like, have you ever?
No, everyone's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's the same.
You don't get starstruck and
No.
no.
Everyone is the same. Everyone has a story to tell. Everybody has a different twinkle, a different view on life, and it's just wonderful meeting so many people from different walks, and getting that from children to elderly people. You know,
Yes.
it's part of it.
And has it gained you a lot of exposure to do that TV show? Like, has it actually advanced your career?
I was featured quite heavily with the intro, my self-portrait, which was great. It was lovely because obviously it was another platform in which to get your work out there to people. So although I don't paint in 4 hours ever, I think only complete masochists would do that. You know, it still is a way of getting out there. It has helped my career because of the exposure, and also the emails I get afterwards, the feedback, because sometimes as an artist you are very closeted and focusing on your thing. You don't actually get much feedback, and it's beautiful when you get these emails from people who are inspired by you, or just are very complimentary, and that keeps you going, because I think as an artist you are very self-critical, and it's a constant diving into your own psyche and pulling it apart and putting it back together again. So it helps you along the way when you have
some
people-
down moment as well. That
Yeah.
you're like up and down.
Exactly.
And you like reading the email and the people say I like your work, thank you. And you say okay. And you know,
Keep sending emails.
Keep them coming.
yeah.
Good
And
vibes.
also that show, everyone's completely vulnerable. We're all absolutely freaked out.
Yeah.
And yet so people are seeing you in this very vulnerable state. You're trying to perform in front of an audience, in front of the world, if you like, with TV, in front of the celebs. You're being interviewed at the same time. You're mic'd up. You've got a camera with every brushstroke, and you're just going, "Oh my God, you know, this isn't how I work. This isn't how artists work." So the fact that I can still have this lovely feedback from people in my most vulnerable state. Yeah, great. So it was a really good thing for me, a real boost.
Yeah, it's good. Would you guys do it?
Paint celebrities or?
Go on a TV show and paint on TV?
Sure, why not?
Yeah?
You know, we have to survive.
Yeah?
You can't really turn it down,
No,
can you?
right.
But, you know, it's just like, oh my goodness.
Laura, would you? Could you handle the
I
pressure?
don't know. I like live painting. Maybe if I don't know, can turn my back better, just can paint, and then I don't know. Maybe I feel more comfortable, like focus on my canvases, and then having someone behind me talking, chatting, or like music or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. I will definitely feel more comfortable. But just because I know myself, it's just like I prefer just being focused with my music and think of what I'm doing if I can.
And beyond, you're always performing in front of an audience, so you're used to
No
it.
problem
And
with this at
people are
all.
always coming, taking
Lights,
photos and
cameras,
filming.
photos,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Shouting,
Yeah, we were asked it, or the first time was asked to paint live at a festival. It must be almost 20 years ago that I painted before hundreds of people, so it was no problem then, and still isn't. No.
Yeah. What has been your biggest struggle in becoming the artist that you are today?
The biggest struggle is probably within myself. What do I want to make? What are you going to put out there? What direction are you going? Is it good enough? Is it not already done? Probably it is. All sorts of questions within myself probably, and that's also probably some insecurity or if you have a white canvas or wall in front of you, you could do anything, and what is the best to do? There's no answer, so that's always the question.
I would agree with that. I think the biggest problem is from within yourself.
Yeah.
All the time. You always have to pull it out of yourself. So, you know, you're your worst critic. And like being faced with a white canvas or a white wall or whatever, and suddenly go, okay, I need to, you know, I'm putting something down here. It's hard to always perform, always, you know, keep yourself on that happy
it's
place.
scary, huh? Sometimes.
It's scary. And, you know, I think every artist has these really dark days where they question, like, what am I doing? And only you can bring yourself out of that.
Yeah.
I have whole periods I don't even know what I want to make. And I was used, when I started painting, like from graffiti, I was used to paint under pressure. So you have from now till 7 minutes. You have 7 minutes to paint, and then the train drives away. And that's it.
And then it's gone.
And when you're in the studio with a canvas, you can sit there for hours. And nothing happens maybe.
But you think it's easier when there's a time limit?
Because you have to do it at that moment,
Right.
and you paint it, and it's gone, and then that's the painting, and it's finished.
Yeah. There's no redoing.
Actually, I would say that sometimes if you're thinking about something for too long, you overthink it, and it doesn't get done, or you become too precious. I know I become precious quite often. I'm like, I need a little bit more energy. I mean, I look at Laura's new work. You know, you had to create really fast in her Italian studio over a period of time for this show, and there's always energy, but the energy that's gone into Laura's new paintings is
unique
and that's only because of deadline, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to get that done.
But that works. Sometimes I'm pushing the deadline to have only 1 or 2 days, and then I'm gonna paint it and it comes all out. Because I
actually have to say that it's like you feel within yourself that there's a requirement of like some special power, if I can say honestly. That's what I 100% sure I can say. Even went for the show in New York. It's like 18 painting, like you have like 9 weeks. What? I
going to Laura's studio. I'm painting. I've got 18 painting. Like, oh my god.
It wasn't me. It was like a super special power. I know I can do it. It's like it was more about like concentrating about being in a zone in which I can still be myself and honest with myself. So if it makes sense, I don't know. It's difficult to say. It just don't allow the deadline or the pressure to mess up with the word that you have to deliver as well.
Yeah.
Just like you have like to enter a special
And
zone.
it's important to have your
Maybe
studio.
like meditation. I don't know. Maybe.
But what about afterwards when you push yourself so far? Don't you feel a bit
Down for
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exhausted.
Massive
you're
comeback.
completely
Totally
done.
empty.
Yeah. And you still feel bad because you
Tired.
still know I have to paint, but you're still like, oh fuck, I'm so drained.
But then
now.
you have the luxury that your boss won't say like you have only 2 weeks off this year.
True. You can just
Go.
Yeah.
True.
And it's good to have, your studio practice have a certain feeling, a certain atmosphere. Now, I've been to your studio, Emma, and I've been to Laura's studio. You were sort of like a guest
I was
studio.
yeah.
Your studio's everywhere, so you can't really,
No, I have
really
inside-
change the
I have an
atmosphere.
inside studio as well. Yeah.
He's got a dream studio.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dreams. We're all moving there.
Yeah.
Come over.
But do you have any process? Do you have anything you do before you start work? Any
Coffee.
like coffee, some music, or is there like
Coffee.
just coffee? That's the most important thing.
Coffee, then
music.
And a
I
thread
put my
hanging
painting
in the
slippers
air
on.
saying
Get change.
you have to eat tomorrow.
You have, yeah.
Actually, yeah, I have snacks stashed
Yeah.
because if you're in the zone, you can't. It's really difficult to actually go
You don't want to go
to the
out.
shop
No.
because you're focused. So you have your snacks stashed.
I've got
around.
like some
Yeah.
crazy ritual that I have to do if like when I start to paint. I think I can share these maybe. I don't know, just want to talk to maybe I can share. But yeah, I assume that I can. Like if I start a painting that is, I can see that it's okay, it's good.
Yeah.
I can feel
It's gonna
it's
be
good.
something.
Yeah.
I'm not changing the playlist for 3 days.
Yeah.
You're not changing what?
playlist.
Playlist.
The music.
Same
the
music,
music
yeah.
playlist.
Same playlist. It's not even if it's like I'm exhausted, don't want to hear. It's like no, it's look. Hours
Yeah,
after
yeah.
hours, it's like it's working.
On repeat.
I'm like,
Yeah. Do you want to hear my
is that
strange
not normal?
one?
I've been hearing to the same playlist for weeks now.
Yeah, but then I have to change and not seeing that.
I just sometimes just don't get there to even press the button.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it just
yeah, it's
keeps
like
going, and you're like,
some-
I'm listening to Nirvana
I don't
Unplugged
know.
like 20
Yeah.
times.
Right.
Oh my god.
Well, the beautiful
Yeah.
thing is when you listen to it years down the line, it will remind you of that work session and
Yeah,
how you
sure,
felt
sure.
at
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah. My strange one is actually to pack up because I find it really difficult to leave. If I'm on a roll, I find it difficult to leave. I usually leave because I'm hungry, or I'm absolutely exhausted, and I get phone calls from my boyfriend. I'm hungry. Can you come home? I've got dinner prepared. You need to leave the studio now.
Yeah.
So what I do is I actually have this one song, Rina Gaetano, Marcello è sempre più blu. Marcello è
wow,
sempre
yeah.
più blu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like 8 minutes long.
We talk it
And I put it on. Damien texts me saying, "Put Reno on now, Emma." So I know I put it on, and I know in 8 minutes I have to clean my brushes, get changed out of my clothes, make sure that it's sort of locked down and lights off out the door.
Yeah.
And I do that every day because I will not
Yeah.
walk away. I will keep fiddling. And keep fiddling, and an hour can pass, and then longer. So
Yeah.
that helps me leave the studio.
I agree. That is there's
Yeah.
also a ritual with leaving the studio. It's like
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the most important thing is that you dedicate the 10 minutes before you close the door. Just make sure that all is clean.
Yeah.
You look at the studio. You look at the painting. You look at yourself. I even folded my dress. Clothes and put on the chair. Like everything's got like I folded that.
But
And
10
I'm like,
minutes,
And
time
breathe these. I don't know. It's like a strange feeling.
Time isn't sort of, it's a relative thing
Yeah,
when you're
just
painting. It,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean anything. You're just painting, It could be
the
10
flow.
minutes or 10 hours as you're in
And
this
you
thing.
breathe these like.
So yeah,
But a good-
Rino Gaetano.
A good lesson also if you are kind of struggling to get started in the day, make sure everything's ready for the next
Yeah.
day. So you come in and you can just go straight at it, and you don't have to do all the clean the brushes because you left them in the water or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just make sure everything's ready and then go at it.
Yeah.
that's good.
But what about when, I don't know if it happens sometimes, when you have like a very bad day? I mean, you know what, you have something like project that you have to do, and you're in the studio, you're like 100% sure that it's going to be like kind of a normal day.
And
then
you
start
push the paint around all day, and you finish
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're like,
Start
it looks the same.
in the worst of
It looks
the
worse than
way.
it
It looks worse than it's not.
And you're not getting out of the way. It's just like even worse. And then I found myself even sometimes like after an hour, it's not gonna. Today
It's
gonna
not
be
today.
Not
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
I think that
Not
comes,
today,
like
go
that
to the
comes with
park.
time.
Yeah.
That comes with time, though.
change
Knowing
plans.
yourself and knowing this is not working today, you're going to really f this up if you keep going with this. You
Yeah,
just need
that's
to go. You
strange.
need to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just leaving the studio. Doesn't happen, often, but you recognize exactly that
Yeah.
day that is
No,
that
directly.
That is
yeah.
not. That is not that
it's
day.
incredible.
But did any of you have any a milestone that said, okay, before you went into being a professional full-time artist, if I reach that milestone, then I'm going to drop everything and I'm going to actually do this full-time. I'm going to stop my side hustle. I'm going to do this and this. Was there a particular milestone that you had in your head that said, now I can go 100%?
You mean
Yeah.
like signs that make you feel that you can...
Or if
quit
you had a
your
goal
job?
in your head, like if I sell this many paintings, or if I get into this exhibition, or if I get on this TV show, or whatever, like was there a particular thing that you had which was the one that triggered you to taking that leap and going full time?
They always say that you have to set goals, but
You
I
never
don't-
do.
No,
I
not
think
really.
just
But some
limits.
things occur that you feel like, okay, that makes me confident, now I can do anything.
Yeah.
But
sometimes your workload is just suddenly full time.
yeah,
I think.
I will into it.
I think it's. I think it's important to have goals.
Yeah.
To push for something. To be the best or to change the world or whatever it is, in your world.
But that's a super big goal.
It's
but
super big, but
like a
you
short-term
might as well
goal,
aim
like
high,
I
because-
want to be in, or I want to
But
do-
already what we're doing is super unrealistic in a way.
Yes,
So we might as well
Yeah.
aim for the sky, So, but I think you shouldn't expect anything. Just keep working and
Yeah.
and it will just come to
Expect
you.
nothing,
Yeah.
but put everything into it.
Yeah.
Did you reach a certain goal that you wanted to?
Not yet.
No.
I don't think I ever will, but they keep changing
Ah.
for I'll reach the goals, but they will
Okay.
keep changing. Once I
Yeah,
hit that
yeah.
goal,
they're
then
changing all
probably
the
another
time.
one
Yeah.
come.
What's the next goal?
World domination. No, I don't know. I don't know. Yes, I have one thing at a time.
Domination.
We'll figure something out over the weekend.
What is
Mm.
what is that?
We'll
Well,
talk.
I know you have a lot of quotes around in your studio,
Yeah.
and that was something that I
Don't
saw
ask
that
me
I
to
haven't.
remember them all now because I won't.
Well, I remember one that you shared with us earlier. Is when do you know when a painting is finished?
When you stop looking at it and it starts looking at you.
Yeah.
That's actually one I use all the time for me because, you give and give and give to the painting and suddenly it starts giving back to you, and that's when I know that it's done.
Yeah.
It's got an energy which is apart from me. So
That's good.
Good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it's a very good saying. I love that.
yeah,
And you
it's
do, because you do portraits, so you do faces, or faces with expressions. And it's something that was done a lot in the older days. Are you finding it really difficult with, having photography and all that sort of stuff? What sort of
Well, as
client
in
would...
being competition with it.
Yeah.
As in the idea that the image is very instantaneous now. Everyone's taking selfies. Everyone's
Well, it's
taking
easier to go to a
photographs.
photographer and get, a portrait printed out of you, the next week than going
Yeah.
to an artist with oil paint and...
I suppose you say in the history of portraiture, people would have portraits done because they didn't have a photograph and they wanted to immortalise their loved one and have them, they can look in a locket or on the family wall, staircase going up or whatever. I don't know, I think now that, portraiture, because it's such a, maybe like I think I said to you earlier, it's like the slow food movement, or people are respecting something that someone has put time and effort into creating, rather than this very disposable format of a digital photograph. I don't want to paint photographs, just take a photograph. Don't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
It's what
I
I'm
try
emotional
and
at
capture the
moment.
thing behind that, the essence, the you know, the real the moment behind that person. I don't actually like to be called a portrait artist. I like to think that I'm painting gestures and expressions and people's essences in that particular time with the medium that I'm using.
Must be sort of magic to really capture someone. That you see, look at a painting like this, really him, you know?
Yeah. And I don't think, I mean, obviously you can get that from photography, but in a painting it's a different way. There's so many different levels in that. It's always really exciting, and I love the challenge of finding a thing, finding someone's thing. I don't particularly like painting just a portrait. I mean, there's a challenge to that, but I like something a little bit more dynamic. People give a bit more and then a little bit more kind of vulnerable with it. Yeah.
Do any of you find that there's a particular theme that you're pursuing in your artwork?
I think it changes, and when you're the way you feel, you know. One day it might be fucking conquer the world, you do something like that, or for me at least, and then another time it's shit, you know, shit the world.
Yeah, but it's always your life and your feelings though, so that will be the theme throughout.
I think it has to be, you know, you can't really fake those things, you know, so it has to come from somewhere.
Close to yourself.
You're always painting yourself. Whatever you're painting, I think that that something is coming out from yourself. So, you know, you need to constantly dive into yourself and pull it apart and put it back out there.
But you're in a duo, so how does that work?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking
You have
about.
to collaborate with Karski and argue with him.
Exactly.
How do you?
It's different. Of course, it's different. We work on designs together, but sometimes we divide the tasks, and one do the design, another work on something else of the project, and then you're working together on a design that maybe for the biggest part the other one did. But there are so many parts of a huge mural that at some point it's not a point, and you have to talk a lot about which direction you're going and what you want to make and what the style is going to be, and we have to talk a lot about developing our style, and actually we're in the middle of it, so that's it's different. Yeah,
you just changed your style from last time when I saw Karski just a few months ago. Like now it's a new direction again.
It has to develop, and we have to be on the our noses have to be in the same direction, and that will never be 100%, of course, because we're individuals, but we know what we want to do, and we have a clear direction now where we're pushing it, and we love our direction. So it's but it's absolutely different, But it's also I was talking about the battle within, that you don't know what you want to do sometimes. So you have input from another direction as well, and you're giving your perspective on that direction, and it will meld together, and maybe it makes things a bit easier as well. So it has pros and cons.
And if you're not in a duo, if you're solo, then just try and see, like the idea thing. Like if you have an idea, have 2 buckets.
Oh my god, the bin, you mean?
Yeah, the bin. The bin.
Yeah, I mentioned the
Two
idea
little
like
bins.
having 2 bin, one on your right and one on your left, and then when you write the idea.
So the thing is to draw every single idea, even though if you think it's bad, or if you think it's good, just draw it down, sketch it down. Have two bins.
Yeah, one on your right and your left, and then it's quote more about Marina Abramovic.
I saw that.
Yeah, and then at the end you would be surprised about the ideas that they were in the other bucket, the one that you were thinking, they are like rubbish ideas. Actually, it was like the most brilliant ideas. So it's like you will be surprised about yourself sometimes if you stop looking with a certain attitude as well. I think just be more like open with yourself and honest, and you'll be surprised.
I would also say surround yourself with interesting people and other creatives, because you know, you have those block days, or you have those days where you're feeling a bit self-doubt, or you're a bit stuck, or you just you're excited about something and you want to chew it over with somebody. And, you know, I've got a couple of go-tos that, you know, I'll like Skype a friend or go to their studio or whatever. And you know, you have that creative bounce, which is so important. You can't completely always create in isolation. You need to come and chat. I mean, dear old Laura and I, was it how many hours earlier? yak, you know, and just already, just, you know, the energy that you get from talking to people, you know, and suddenly, you know, you're re-inspired to go in a different direction that you might not have had if you were just on your Todd.
Yeah, it's just that's really a good point.
Yeah.
It's super important to have these these creative people you can bounce ideas off, and they won't judge you because they're thinking likewise. And we were talking to these two down here earlier, and they're going to art school now soon, and I think that's really, it can be a really good platform because you're surrounded by like-minded people that you can, and for the first time maybe in your life, then you don't have to worry about what other people are thinking and stuff because they're creative too. And that's really important for starters, you know. That will change your whole world.
I don't do that enough.
No.
But I'm a bit between two worlds because graffiti is really narrow-minded. And then we are making direction maybe more towards your work, but we're not like you. So that's, it's harder for me to find those people maybe.
But you have him, you work with him, I guess.
That's true, but that's one person.
True,
Yeah.
But also just coming here actually is wonderful for us. You know,
I have 3 now of them.
Speaking to people from different countries, different people with different experiences. You know, every single one of you have a valid experience that probably inspire me in a different way, and vice versa. You know, it connect with each other. Reach out, connect with each other, don't be scared, get into conversations, and before you know it, you've gone off on some crazy tangent and you might be doing the next best thing out that suddenly goes global. Who knows? Who knows? Why not? Just do it.
Exactly.
Don't be scared.
Well, once you start thinking in these kind of ways and you get
It's
alcohol...
scary before you know it.
What's the best piece of advice you've been given?
Oh, damn.
Apart, like all the motivation thing, like don't give up, believe in yourself, accept yourself. Yeah, probably this.
Yeah. Have you had any particular person in your life that has influenced that and sort of pushed you and given you that?
But it's a sad story, can I?
I'm not going to talk about my personal cry.
It's my best friend.
Yeah.
But I lost him many years ago, and I think that what I am today, it's because of him.
Because of him.
And he's the person that he was believing in me when I wasn't able. I was young. I was traveling. My background was languages. I didn't go to high school, but I was able to pass the exam for the Academy of Fine Arts in Venice because he was believing in me when I wasn't able to do that. And it was so easy for me. And I studied there 5 years. It was amazing, and I kept. And then, so I think that sometimes you have special people in your life that can change your life completely.
For sure.
So you also need to pay attention at signs sometimes.
Life is really short, and then you die. So basically, do what's in your heart. Isn't it? Just if you want to do something, if you want to paint pictures, if you want to make sculptures, if you want to be a ballerina, I don't know, just go and do it.
Just do it.
Take the risk.
It's so hard.
What's the risk anyway? I mean,
but it's so hard to give advice like this because you all heard them before, you know. You've all
it's so
seen,
cliche.
It's so cliche, but it's true, you know.
It's cliche for a reason, you know, because there's something about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
And even that is cliche to say, you know.
You can't win. You just have to do it.
Yeah. But you come from a very artistic family with music and everything.
Yeah, my mother was a musician and my father was a chef. I didn't inherit any of those skills, so I just started painting instead. Didn't cook with the paint or anything. I just painted with it.
Okay, I'm gonna paint now.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing the other thing.
I don't know how that got into the world, but I bet everybody here is probably interested in drawing and painting, you know. So so just nobody really knows how it started. I guess we just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it normally starts from a very young age.
Yeah.
You can't. It's uncontrollable.
Yeah.
It's just something within you, and then when you start going to school and they start teaching you out of creativity.
Yeah.
Creativity you're born with, and then you go to school, and then they teach you out of it, and then
Yeah, that's
and,
true.
you
Might
lose
be
it,
that.
and then
Yeah.
you grow old, and then you're miserable, and then you're grumpy, and then you
It
have to
become a
find your way
regular-
back to your inner child. Yeah.
It became like a regular thing that the teachers would say, you have to stop drawing on the sides of the paper now, you know,
Yeah.
because you were constantly, you weren't paying attention, you were just in a world of your
Yeah,
own drawing, you know.
Yeah.
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 But we've got a fellow artist friend who last year I remember having a conversation with, and he was saying, I've just been told by my family that I need to get a real job.
Yeah.
This is a hobby, this is nonsense, you're living at home, whatever. And he creates great work. Do you know what, this year, just like that, he's doing really well. He now earns more than his family, put together probably, I think. He's got a deposit for his house, and he now says, I'm a real artist. He was the same artist a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it can happen for you if you just keep doing it.
Was it a comment from his family that sort of put fuel on the fire, or?
I can't answer. I
No.
can't answer that. But I just remember that conversation, and it's a really lovely thing when you hear somebody who's actually getting some recognition and being able to go. Because the fact is, most of the time you'll be putting yourself on the breadline. You know, you're gambling your money, your time, your energy on something which might not always be bringing things to the table. But it can happen, and you know, very quickly you could if you work and you believe in your work, I think people will start believing in you, and it will start happening.
Yeah, I think that's the number one thing. You have to take yourself seriously, and when you take yourself seriously, only then can other people take you seriously and your work seriously.
Yeah.
Lucky,
If you go, oh no, this is just something I put together, I just
Yeah.
did a little bit of that, a little bit of that. If you talk about your art that way, then other people will talk about your art that way.
Yeah. You have to believe it, or because nobody else will. You have to believe in it.
I was lucky that my parents supported me in whatever I wanted to do, because they felt that I was gonna do whatever I wanted to anyway.
Yeah.
I was
It was your comment then.
I was sort of kicked off elementary school because I didn't do anything. High school didn't finish. I had a graphic design degree eventually.
Yeah.
After that, another school I stopped. Couldn't work for any boss because I don't like to be bossed around. Had no real job. Brought some pizzas around and painted graffiti. And now I own a new car. I have my own house that I bought.
Yeah.
All because of graffiti. So
Yeah.
You were born
And
for this.
the whole system was not for me. No school system, nothing. It's totally not made for me.
Yeah.
I cannot relate to anybody who's doing this.
Well done.
Sometimes you just have to write your own rules with it, and who's to tell you what's right or wrong? You know, you just got to make it how you make your life how you want it.
Yeah. Paint outside the colors.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Outside
lines.
the lines.
Outside the colors.
Outside the colours.
If you can do that, then you're fucking gonna make it.
Make new colours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One final question before everybody in the audience is going to get a chance to ask questions that they might have. So my question for you guys is, what do you want the world to know about you?
Oh my goodness.
Your website?
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I make a mean spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah. And you're single? Is that
Yeah,
it?
well, hit me up. Well, that's a really hard question.
No, what you know about me is if you have an available wall and it's large, I will paint it.
Yeah. As long as it's outside.
No, also inside.
Inside too. You
Yeah.
do
I
work
have
inside.
Anywhere.
a bigger studio with the huge,
Oh yeah.
like amazing ceiling.
Yeah,
Yes,
big
yes,
space.
Yes.
The
I'm
question
looking
wasn't
for a new
what you
studio.
want. The question was,
Oh,
what do
sorry.
you want the world to know about you?
Okay. Sorry, I
This is
didn't-
not like
You're able to move in this nice studio.
Father Christmas.
Yeah, it's not like
really
the Ellen DeGeneres show where they're gonna bring out all the stuff and give you a new car.
Are you mean like, okay, sold out show or something like that? No.
Yeah.
The world to know.
Maybe about like what you want to say with your work,
Yeah.
so you get the right kind of audience to connect to your artwork.
Yes, probably this is the most important thing at the end of the day. That make sure that because in our case, we are here and we are doing what we're doing in this way, in an honest, vulnerable way, putting ourselves outside completely. We hoping that who's looking at the works is really feeling something.
Yeah.
And is like being touched maybe deeply about
Yeah.
so we feel in the kind of way that we did our mission,
Yeah.
and then we can like
It's not about what we want the world to know, it's about what we want the world to feel.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
And
don't want to
remove
tell anyone to feel anything, but
someone
if you can create something that can touch somebody in whatever way,
yeah
then that
You feel that
that's
you
my job
did-
done.
Yeah.
True.
good job,
You know.
yeah,
Mm.
you're right.
They said it.
They said it.
Yeah.
You agree?
Okay,
Yeah.
high five.
Yeah, what I usually say is because we paint in public space, we are not painting for ourselves, but we are painting for everyone who will see it, because in the end of the day I will go home and it will be their painting, so
But it's still you in that piece, though.
Yeah.
You're not. It's not like a commission that you're painting for someone else. It's
it's
still
a part
you.
of us, but it's it sounds cliche, but it's for the people, so
Yeah.
Can I say something about regarding his work? I think that what I really like about graffiti is also the fact that it's outside the gallery space, so
Yeah.
it's less intimidating. So you arrive to the people directly, from children to other people. It's just a very straightforward language.
free
That's-
open museum
Yes.
for everyone
Yes.
without payment.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's something about the gallery space which I think as artists we do need to move outside of
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And I do believe that social media and the internet has opened up a load of different platforms
Yeah.
in which you can get your voice across.
Yeah.
And it's not just being controlled by this kind of very elite, cliquey
Exactly.
gallery system, which quite frankly I think is a bit antiquated. So
And if you have any social media questions, these are the guys, because they have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, and that's where they get all their work from. So if you have any questions related to that, then these are people. Well, thank you so much.
thanks,
Thank you.
Andy.
We'll see if there's any questions from the audience. Anyone that wants to wonder about, I don't know, their life or their profession, their work, why they chose the kind of subjects that they are doing.
Just to ask you, Hege, how you found your subjects, because you've been driving around a van all over Europe. How do you find the artists
Yeah.
you're interested in?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's been so hard. That's probably been harder than anything else, to be honest. It sounds like the easiest thing, and I thought it would be the easiest thing because there's so many artists out there, and obviously everybody wants exposure because everybody says they want exposure. But to actually find them, people are very poor at being on social media, having their websites, tagging things, and actually making themselves searchable. Very, very bad. So I had to go into specific galleries. Galleries won't help you. Not a single gallery has helped me at all to connect with the people and actually create exposure for the artists. So going to every single gallery, what sort of artists do they represent? Going to Instagram, hashtags, that's just the best. I think that's where I found, you too. Karski was like
How did you find it?
network, and Laura was network too for Emma. But when you find a few, then people know people and it all happens. But at the start, before you have that little networking, then freaking hard. It's freaking hard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the antiquated system because they're there to connect you with certain people, not all people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're
yeah.
not that certain person, you're not going to have access to the artist.
No, not at all, not at all, not at all.
Because
And you know, a lot of artists have agents and representation and things like that, and then just forget about it because if you're not there to actually pay money for an artwork, then it's not gonna happen. But the ones that I've gotten in touch with, they have been so good, so helpful, and it's been so great to see I've been invited into people's home, into their studios, you know, looked at everything. There's not a single place where I've only spent an hour. I spent like at least half a day at each artist, because we just sit and drink coffee and talk and get shown around, and yeah,
Artists
really,
like
really
coffee.
Yeah.
yeah, coffee has been a really,
you
really,
the coffee, don't know.
yeah.
But do you use social media actively or with like a pursuit?
It's a part of the job. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
You have to.
Even if you don't want to, you have
Yeah.
to. You don't not to.
If you don't send anything into the world, you don't
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
You'll be. If you
Yeah,
paint in
cut
this
out.
room and you keep it here, you will be only in this room. It doesn't matter how
Yeah.
good you are.
Yeah.
You'll maybe someone will discover it after you died. They will
Yeah.
make a
Yeah.
big museum and sell it. Really, but
Yeah.
yeah, you will
I
not
think
live
like
of it.
a magical and romantic side as
Yeah.
well.
Sounds really
Like-
romantic
Yeah,
and
for
really
the
poor.
small little
Very
yeah,
poor.
but yeah.
Yeah.
It makes my stomach rumble.
And a lot of the artists that I've been talking to, they don't even do websites anymore. They only do social media, Instagram, and do everything through there, and that's good enough, and that's working.
I can see how it would work, but I think you also it's important to look professional, you know, and
Yeah.
a website makes that happen in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
Create your own space.
But it's not.
Yeah.
That's not the main source, though.
No, probably
You know,
not.
it's just
probably
like
not.
an add-on
Redirecting.
to have. Yeah,
People
exactly.
then get drawn
To actually
the
do the
website.
PayPal purchase or whatever, you
Whatever,
know. But Instagram is where they actually find you.
It's
At this
basically about
moment.
Yeah.
making yourself discoverable.
Mm.
Yeah.
You just got to make yourself discoverable. Be in
Yeah.
the right places,
Mm.
whether it's on, digitally or
Yeah.
in
Socially.
in
Yeah.
cities or networks or studios. You have to put yourself put yourself out there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I just went to the
Totally.
bathroom before the break.
Whole different story now.
It's a good one, though. And apparently she's from here, another artist who does these comic book faces. Sandra Chevrier or something like that.
Oh, Sandra, yeah.
Yeah,
She's not from here. She's from Canada. But
Ah,
she's
okay.
here a lot. Yeah.
But she stuck like a sticker on the
Yeah.
toilet, and
Mm.
you know, shit
So
like
you
that.
know,
It's-
yeah.
it's
You get
vandalism.
connected then.
It's vandalism. Don't do it. But it's
Don't do
it's,
it.
It's good. I mean,
Well, that's it. And then it's
Yeah.
recognisable, and people might not know that it's you that they recognise. But I was having a conversation. I was working at a festival at the weekend, and I was talking to someone, and they said, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm an artist." And she looked me up. She's like, "Oh, you're all over Tumblr." I'm like, "Oh, am I?" Yeah, you know. But
Well, that's
she knew me not through me, but through my work, and you know. That's actually quite scary in one sense, but in another sense, you know, great that obviously your image is becoming recognisable,
Yeah.
your style is becoming something that people are picking up on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so you got to do it.
Well, you kind of have to find your branding, and you actually have to brand yourself
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
brand, and just put that out there all the time. I
You
think
can
and
decide
an
what you're
artist,
putting out.
Yeah.
an artist that's really good at branding is this girl called Laura Zombie. I know you
Yeah.
know about
Yeah.
her, and she's it's incredible what she can do with her Instagram and marketing and branding. It's just so unique and so good.
yeah, however romantic it is to be an artist and don't have to do that stuff, it's just a different world than when
Yeah.
Leonardo and those guys were around. You know, we have to do this kind of stuff now.
Yeah.
All right. If there's anything else, no, then I think we're gonna.
We told everything.
We told everything.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
all the points.
Everything about
I,
it.
I
You
wa-
can now
have a
bring that.
question.
Yeah.
You have a question, yeah?
Is there one of you who has an agent or not? Or do you do
No.
everything
No.
independently?
Yes. It's all independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day though, one day somebody's gonna take over my social media so I can just focus on.
You know what I'm
painting.
saying?
Yeah.
So you only have to paint?
Yeah, that would be nice.
It would be nice if somebody did all the everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could just
So-
paint.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But yeah.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
it's not yet.
Not yet. All right.
Not yet,
Me
and a
neither.
lot of people, a lot of artists, they choose not to
Mm.
because it takes away a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. Not
Opportunities that you want to do that doesn't necessarily give money. So the goal of having an agent is actually not really a goal you want to have,
And also,
because they will give you the jobs with the highest bucks, but not necessarily the one that
Yeah, and it's not always about the money. I
No.
mean, money, obviously,
Yeah.
you need it. It's your job. You need to make an income. But when you're creating it, it's a very personal thing, and you need to be the one that responds to the email. You need to be the one that engage with the client, because if they want a piece of you and you're giving a piece of you as well, or you're doing the synergy of commissions or whatever, it's desperately personal.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
to have that intermediary might not always be the right thing.
And to have
Yeah.
find somebody that you can actually trust, that puts as much effort into
Yeah.
selling your
Yeah.
work as you put into it, as you would have done. That's one of my worries, you know. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to be on one line and
Yeah.
it's have to be really special.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's difficult.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for being
Thank
so
you.
sporty,
Thank
coming
you.
to
Thank you.
Stavanger, coming to Norway, and
Thank you.
coming to
Thank you.
sit on this couch.
Well, it's
And thank you
beautiful.
for everybody that
thank
took
you
your
very
time
much
out
for
to
coming.
come out.
And thank you all for coming.
Yeah,
I hope
that's really
that we
nice.
have helped you,
Some
enlightened you
nice
in one
advice.
way or inspired you. I will say, if any of you have any questions for me, certainly, or probably you guys too,
Yeah.
Mhm.
just connect on
Instagram
Google us,
or-
connect,
Yeah.
fire us off some questions.
Yeah.
We'll always try hard to respond.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure.
And always remember, be different and be you. Thank you for tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.